Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to thank you for attending the Amazon Virtual Job Fair event. I'd like to introduce you to Kimberla. She's going to tell you a little bit about their company, the job openings that they're looking at, and how you can apply for those openings. So I will pass it off to you, Kimberla.
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I want to welcome everybody and thank you so much for coming. And I want to let you know if you have any questions, I was a warehouse worker. I'm recruiting now. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. We are hiring for Integrity Staffing, which staffs for Amazon. It's hiring for all of our Amazon locations. We have seasonal full-time and part-time opportunities. We have days and nights. The pay, which is very important, starts off at $15 per hour. And depending on what shift you get, it can go up to a start off at $16.15 per hour. We make it very easy for you to apply to Amazon. All you have to do is 3 steps. You go to amazon.force, that's with an F, F-O-R-C-E.com. Fill out the application. A little tip, I make sure that you fill out the complete application. And after you complete the application, you'll get an online email to complete your I-9. So you start that process right online. And then you'll get a pre-scheduled appointment. And for that appointment, that's where you bring in your I-9 documents. Very easy. You need 2 documents. Most people just bring a social security card and a valid photo ID. So if you have any questions, it's very easy to apply. Bam. Right now we have all shifts. Everything is in demand and just excited to hire.
All right. Could you go into a little bit more about what the warehouse workers would be doing?
Absolutely. So the warehouse workers we have picking, packing, sorting, a lot of movement, constant movement. Most of the shifts are 10-hour shifts, and you have to be able to interchange. So it's different departments, like you don't stay in one department all the time, which is good. I liked it because it gives you a variety of the warehouse. So normal warehouse work, but constantly moving. You definitely have to be able to lift 45 pounds, I believe. And very easy though. If you need assistance, everybody helps. So as long as you're able to lift and you're able to move it, and you like a fast-paced environment, it's definitely the place for you.
Are there any types of requirements that you would have to have in order to be qualified for the job, such as like a driver's license or anything like that?
Absolutely, great question. So during your I-9 situation, that's when you come to the office, you fill out the form online, you'll get an email, and then you come to the office. So you definitely want to have 2 forms of ID. Listed, I can definitely listed you want to have, most people just bring their social security card and a valid photo ID. As far as the requirements, we do a background check. And right now, that's all the requirements, and be able to fulfill your schedule. That's important. You want to make sure that you get the schedule that you're going to be able to fulfill.
All right. And I do also just want to put out there that if anyone has any questions at any time, you can either unmute yourself or type in the chat any questions.
Absolutely. Feel free to talk to me.
Go ahead.
Talk to me.
Could you maybe describe the work attire that you would expect of someone who's going to be working in the warehouse?
Absolutely. So there is no dress code. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to wear anything offensive, of course, but you want to be comfortable. What I have noticed being in the warehouse is that the climate can change, especially from floor to floor. So I always dressed comfortably, but I always had something to put on, like a jacket, just in case it got cooler, because the climate can change. But, and you definitely want good shoes. That's a big tip. You want to definitely have, there are no open toe shoes in the warehouse for safety concerns. Gym shoes, Skechers is what I recommend because they worked well for me. But you want to have good shoes, comfortable wear.
And we had another question in the chat that, do you have any positions available for working remotely?
Not at the present time, coming up probably though. If you want to check always on amazon.force.com, if those opportunities come in your area, in our area, in the Chicagoland area, they'll be posted there. So you can always check there. But I would say, just in my opinion, it's definitely coming. Good question.
And do you have any managerial positions or IT positions in the warehouse? Or that?
Good question. Absolutely. So I would check Amazon. I'm not on that side of the spectrum, so I would definitely always go to amazon.force.com. But a piece of advice from me would be, I started off in the warehouse and worked my way. So definitely, if you start off in the warehouse and you have those talents, I would definitely put those forefront and let somebody know and make sure that your production matches the talents that you have. Yeah.
Can you maybe go into detail about the benefits, like part-time or full-time?
Not really into detail. They go more into it on orientation. I can give you a great carrot that we do have benefits that start day one. Yep, day one.
And then what would you suggest someone do, or actually, could you just kind of go through the process for hiring, like the timeline and what people can expect time-wise and when they should hear back and what to do if they don't?
Absolutely. So time-wise is fast, if that's a good word. I would go to amazon.force.com and fill out the application. It takes you less than 10 minutes or a little more, 15 at the most. Fill out that application. After that, everything is communicated through email. So it's important that you check your email because they will be communicating with you through email. And then you'll get those I-9 forms. And I mean, the shifts are needed right now. So turnaround is fast, very fast.
Kimberla, this is Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
I'm just curious how this would compare to like a UPS environment or FedEx environment. I had some experience at a UPS facility downstate. So can you compare the two?
Very good question, Tracy. Unfortunately, I never worked UPS, and I can give you my experience because I worked in the warehouse. I haven't worked at UPS or FedEx, so I'm really not. This was my first warehouse position. However, I did have a position one time at the post office. And one thing that I noticed I can give you that was similar was that I learned about warehouse, and the post office, no chairs. So it's constantly movement. Not sure if, I think UPS and FedEx would have that same kind of carrot also, but I didn't work there, so I really can't compare the two, but I know that it's constant moving. It's constantly production. And if you like to make goals for yourself, because that's what I would do, it's kind of that environment because you're working with so many different things. It's so much product. You already probably know what Amazon has. So hopefully I answered your question.
There's another question that says, could you elaborate more on your shifts? When does a night shift start or a day shift?
Absolutely, I can. Right now, it differs. So requisition for shifts go in daily. So it could change. I don't want to quote a shift But when you apply and go on your application, it's going to ask you your availability down to a science. So it's going to have like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Are you available morning, nights? I think the morning shift, and don't quote me, would be, if it doesn't change, 7:30, about that hour. They may have 8 o'clock. They have different, it staggers, and it goes until 6:30. So the shifts are 10-hour shifts. And overtime is almost always available also. So keep that in mind.
And then does Amazon provide workplace accommodations for people with disabilities?
Yes.
And then there's another question that said, could you work part-time?
Yes, we do have part-time shifts going on right now. And those hours vary too. But I do know that it's encompassed right now because the demand is so high. It's so high for us to hire that they have Saturday and Sunday shifts, and they do have probably days and overnights. So it's 2 shifts.
And then what is Amazon doing to keep employees safe during this time of COVID-19?
Absolutely, good question. I do know, I'm not working in the warehouse, but I do know that what they are doing is temperature checking. They do, I believe they're supplying masks. Everybody wears a mask in Amazon. They have sanitary processes that they have implemented. And they have done something with social distancing inside of the warehouse. And that all would be walked out for you with orientation. So orientation is the first day that you would start, and that's where they would go on, where you can find the information on your benefits, where the safety precautions that they're taking, and about if you're seasonal, converting over and being a direct hire for Amazon. So all that would be explained to you at orientation.
And then what if someone was in a part-time position, what could they expect their hours to look like, whether how many hours they'd be working or kind of the shifts that they would expect to be worked?
Absolutely. So it staggers. I can't really they don't have a definite shift. I believe the part-time shifts are 4 to 6 hour shifts. They have donut shifts where you work certain days of the week. So it staggers. It's no definitely, and which is a good thing, because think about it, it works with people's schedule.
And
so when you fill out that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ariel.
No, go, you can finish your thought.
So when you fill out that application, just make sure that you put your availability down of what you're available for. That's it.
And could you explain the difference between a direct hire versus the alternative?
Absolutely. So seasonal is where it's a seasonal position for a certain amount of hours for a certain amount of time. So that's good for like college students and or somebody who's in between jobs, or somebody who wants to be employed right away because they hire very fast for that, right? So that's seasonal. After a certain amount of hours though, after being seasonal, they do have a process where you can apply to convert. So that means that you work directly for Amazon. Direct hire is when you come in and you work directly for Amazon. And we staff for that too. Don't quote me, but I believe that they'll start direct hire in a couple of weeks too. So that means you just come in and you're straight Amazon.
And there's a lot of movement emphasis in the warehouse job. What type of movement accommodations can be made for people with disabilities?
I'm not really, I know that they make the accommodation, and it's something that will be asked on the application. And when you hover over the application, they will give you a display of all of that, and it would answer probably some more of your questions. But we do make accommodations.
And is there a high turnover rate based on the rapid need for hiring?
Good question. So Amazon, it's not about the term, we are designed for people to come and go. At the end, we're designed for college students. We're designed for people who may not want to be long-term or in between jobs. If you want to stay, you can. Like I said, there's a conversion process that you can go to. So it's a turnover rate because some people just come because they're in between a certain situation. But you get the account where if you want to stay, you can. So hopefully that answered your question.
And then there's another question that says, I'm taking a course on AWS and getting ready to be certified. Where do you think I fit in this narrative?
What is AWS?
Could you specify what AWS is? Because we don't know. So you can type that in the chat or unmute yourself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it's whoever asked the question.
Yeah, I don't know what AWS is. I want to help.
Amazon Web Services.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Let me see, I would go to Amazon.force and type that into the search engine. Because it seems like I might have even seen that before. So that would be my advice.
And I did put that URL in the chat towards the very beginning, so you should be able to find that easily there.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions that people had? Let's see. So maybe this would be a good recap to do, but somebody said that they came in late. What types of positions were you discussing for hire? So if you could just briefly kind of go over those again.
Absolutely. So we are Integrity Staffing, which does all of the staffing for the locations, all the Chicagoland and surrounding locations for Amazon warehouse positions. We have seasonal positions, coming up direct hire positions. Seasonal is like an assignment that can last 3 months, 4 months. And then during that time, you do also get a chance to convert. So you can definitely apply to convert. We have direct hire positions. That's where you come in and you would work straight for Amazon. We do the hiring process, but you would work for Amazon. We start off at $15 an hour, and depending on what shift, it goes up to $16.15 an hour. The process is very easy. It's a 3-step process. Complete the application on Amazon.force, that's with an F.com. Then you'll get some emails for you to complete the I-9 forms, complete those online, and then you'll get a pre-scheduled interview. And that's where you come into our center and you make sure that you have 2 forms of ID. Most people just bring a social security card and a photo ID. And that's pretty much the process. We have a lot of different shifts. I know we have two shifts, but we have part-time donut shifts. So when you get that application, make sure that you put your availability on there. It'll ask you when you're available Saturdays, Sundays, and the days of the week.
And we do have a couple people asking about IT positions. So is there a good contact that they should reach out to for IT positions in the Chicago area?
The best thing to do is go to that Amazon.force, because if there's a position for IT, and just put in the search engine IT. If you're interested in recruiting, put in the search engine recruiting.
All right, go ahead with what you're saying.
Oh, no, that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions? That's all of them we've gotten so far. So if you have any other last minute questions, you can go ahead and type them.
And for the future, if you have any questions, my email is kstamps@integritystaffing.com. So if there's anything that I didn't answer today and you want to reach out to just ask a question, feel free.
And I am sending your email in the chat so that, oh wait, hang on.
Okay.
Send it to everybody. All right, everyone should have the her email in the chat so you can reach out with any additional questions that you may have. But if there are no other questions at this time, I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up. I do want to thank you for this presentation and thank everyone for participating and asking so many great questions. It was a really fantastic event. So if you have any other questions, please email them and visit their employer booth on Illinois WorkNet. I can put that link in the chat as well so that you can go there and visit any and review any of this information. And we will be posting a recording of this webinar on there later today, so you can go and review any of this information there. So thank you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much.